Hello and welcome to CMRTV's segment on politics. You know, the municipal elections are about to happen on the 25th of October all over Ontario, and Mississauga seems to be a hotspot this time around. A lot of people are running for mayor in Mississauga against this strong incumbent who's been there as a mayor for decades. This is the first time when 17 opponents have come out to fight Mississauga's current mayor, Hazel McCallion. We picked one of them who seems to be standing out with a lot of difference from all of the other candidates, and that's Mr. Ram Selvarajah. He's here with us in the studio. Let's have a chat with him. Welcome to the show, Ram.
Hello, Raghavan.
So, anyone would ask this question. I suppose you might have been asked this question many times. Why on earth would you try and fight the most powerful politician sitting in as a mayor of Mississauga?
Right, it's a very valid question you ask. But one of the things I found out when I was talking to people in my town, Mississauga, was the fact that it was a time for change. Recently, there was a public inquiry held against Hazel McCallion for influencing deals for her son. And as far back as 1980, she was actually convicted of a conflict of interest hearing. So there's that need again for change. Plus, she's been the mayor for the last 33 years. And of course, even she's been called by Dalton McGuinty as the most powerful politician in Ontario. The challenge has been that Hazel McCallion has built Mississauga. It has been a development city, basically building houses and houses and houses. But there has not been a sense of community. There is no, half the wards don't even have a residents association. So there's no dialogue about what goes on in Mississauga, how to shape the city. And right now we look at the city being very diverse. 52% of the people living in Mississauga are born outside of Canada. So they're looking to say, you know what, we need to participate in the city. We're not being heard. And so in response to that, I decided, if something's got to be done, and somebody with a vision has to come out and stand for it. And hence I put forward my name to run for mayor. And in doing that, I'm the only candidate out of 17 candidates that has put out a comprehensive platform. In fact, I challenged Hazel to release a platform, and one of my platforms called for a museum of diversity in Mississauga. And Hazel has put in, after I released mine, saying she would like to see a place to house the artifacts of Mississauga. So, I'm saying, a museum of diversity versus a place to house the artifacts of Mississauga, which is really a better vision for Mississauga.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we go into your platform and some of the details about your campaigns, let's talk about you for a bit.
Right.
I've known you for a fair bit of time, and you actually ran for school board trustee in the last municipal election. And this seems to be quite a leap from a trustee position to the head of government in municipal politics.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into politics.
Well, I've always been active. Of course, being a Tamil, I think it comes out naturally because our community is so affected by the political forces that are external to us, and we're always trying to respond to that. And in fact, I studied political science during my university years because that was my passion, because I did want to make a difference in the community. And running for trustee the last time, I found out that I could only make certain changes in certain limited ways. But in order to bring about a wider change, I needed to do something better. In fact, this time too, I did put in my nomination for trustee, but in door knocking, talking to people, engaging people into getting them into participate civically, what I found out was that I could really do very little again as a trustee. So it's the best way. I went back to my family and friends and said, guys, these are the issues that are coming. What do we do? And my family and friends said, you know what, we need somebody who's credible to run for mayor. In fact, I was the 6th candidate to put in for mayor, even before Hazel McCallion did. And we did consider the possibility of Hazel running or the other candidates running as options in how we would do. And that's why we developed a strong platform. And that's why in terms of platform and policy, we are far ahead of the others.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your platform then.
Right.
Now, Hazel's been the mayor for 33 years, so
yes.
it would be fair to assume that she knows the ins and outs of Mississauga and how the Mississauga Council runs.
Yes.
Now, you as a rookie politician going into Mississauga City Council, you're going to come out with a whole lot of new ideas. And how do you propose, if elected, you're going to sell it to your fellows and counterparts?
I don't think I will have a hard job selling it, because the ideas that I've put forward is actually a collection of what the people want, not what I want to sell Mississauga. So it's not about salesmanship here. The problem is with the current councillors and the mayor is they have not been listening to the people as to what they want. They've been so far removed from the general public that they've only had their circle of developers that have been saying, you know, we need to build this, we need to build that. They have not responded to any of the needs of the people. In fact, if we look at some of the councillors that have been serving on the council, they've been there for decades. And if you look at some of the candidates, where are the councillors putting their signs? They're putting them right on the developer property. So what we need to do is provide what the people have been asking for.
So as one of the candidates running there, and I'm sure you're hearing from the others as well,
yes,
your fellows, what seems to be the pressing issue against the sitting mayor?
The pressing issue against the city mayor right now is the credibility and the fact that she does not want to let go of the city. In fact, a lot of people who have lived in Mississauga for that length of time, 30 plus years, only remember having Hazel as the mayor. So she's become a grandmother figure to most Mississaugans. So the challenge people are having now is to say, you know what, do we really vote against our grandma, even though we find that our grandma isn't the most honest person and most loving person there is? She's out there for herself. She wants to make a legacy for herself, wants to take care of her family, but not necessarily what's best for Mississauga. In fact, the reality today of Mississauga is that there's a 22% child poverty rate. In fact, among immigrant children, it's a 49% poverty rate. So you're looking at half the immigrant children living below poverty rate. So people are asking, what is this? We need to address this, and this is not being addressed. People in Mississauga, even yesterday at the debate, Hazel McCallion refers to people as immigrants. So I'm saying, you know, these are not immigrants anymore when they choose to live in our community. They are Mississaugans, and they should be treated equally, not as a separate class of citizens.
Mm-hmm. So in the past 33 years, would it be fair to say that, you know, inclusiveness and equity is not considered?
Absolutely not, because if you look at just 9 years ago when the Mayor Hazel McCallion called, you know, she did an interview with the National Post and referred to the funny people in their funny clothes, costumes, clogging up the hospitals and then sponsoring their parents and not contributing to Mississauga. You know, that same hospital benefited from the Kumar family to the tune of $5 million not 3-4 years ago. So the contributions that these people are making is not being recognized, but their immigrants are being seen as a liability, and I think we need to change that.
Mm-hmm. And for the very first time since the 80s, I suppose, there was a debate.
Yes, there was a debate. I'm happy to say that I was the first person that called on Hazel to release a platform. She hasn't done a comprehensive one, but a 5-liner, and it is the first time she responded. The first time in well over 25, 30 years that Mississauga has actually had a debate, and I was the only candidate of color to take part in that debate.
Mm-hmm. Sounds promising. It looks like you're on the right path and you are about to make a change, and you're definitely making waves. All the best to you, and hopefully we'll get to see you again as the mayor of Mississauga.
Thank you. And at this time, I'd really urge all the viewers of CMRTV to, you know, it's great you've watched the TV, now get out there and vote.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.